Welcome back. Chances are you've heard someone use the term NFT. NFT stands for non-fungible token, meaning the token is one of a kind. It's a digital asset such as audio, video, photos, or something else. From the average investor to celebrities, people want in on this crypto asset craze. Adam Hollander, NFT investor and founder of Hungry Wolves, helps explain.
Sure. So imagine you walk into a museum and you see a beautiful painting up on the wall. Now, you could take a picture of it with your phone, or you could go to the gift shop, you could buy a print of it, but it wouldn't be worth very much. The reason that the painting that's up on the wall is worth what it is because it's the original, and you can prove that it's the original. Now, with digital assets, whether that be a picture or a photograph or a music file or a video file, it's actually been very difficult to tell the difference. If you copy a digital file, the copy itself is essentially indiscernible from the original. And that means it's very difficult to know who's holding the original authentic asset. That's made it very difficult to value digital assets like the ones that I mentioned up until now. So what an NFT allows you to do is infallibly prove ownership of a digital asset that is tracked on the blockchain. That means that when an artist or a company or anyone creates a digital file, again, whether that be a picture or a video or anything else, and then they sell it to you as an NFT, you can forever prove that you are holding the original asset that came directly from that artist or that company. That means that they can limit the supply of those particular assets and create scarcity.
It's hard to wrap our minds around. So practical application, like some of the times we see videos go viral, that is not something that you can monetize, right? But what are the things, examples of what you would monetize through with an NFT?
Well, so I think it's an important distinction to make that a lot of people today who are relatively uninformed about NFTs, they view them as simply, digital pictures that might be sitting on the blockchain. And how is this any different from the one that I could copy paste and put on my desktop?
Right.
And so to some extent, they're actually right, that if all you care about is the digital picture and you want to set it as your background on your iPhone, then there's essentially no difference. But what NFTs represent is so much more than just the asset. There are a variety of projects now, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, as an example, which is an NFT community that I'm very passionately part of, where when you buy a Bored Ape, it's really not about buying the picture of the digital cartoon monkey. It really is much more about buying a membership card into a very exclusive community. And so people that are part of that community, I could, list off a few. You have Steph Curry, you have Snoop Dogg, you have Jimmy Fallon. I could go on and on. And so if you want to have access to the other members of this community to network and to be able to communicate with them, if you want access to the benefits, physical and digital, that come with your membership card to being part of Bored Ape Yacht Club, you have to own one of the NFTs. And for that, you have to own the authentic asset. You can't just own a copy paste picture of the cartoon ape.
It's fascinating. So, okay, we're never going to be bored apes, but are there any accessible NFTs that people can kind of learn more about?
There are thousands and thousands of other projects that you can get involved in for $10, $50, a few $100s. I myself actually lead a generative NFT project called Hungry Wolves, which coincidentally just sold out about an hour ago. And so we're extremely, extremely excited. It's 6,000 generative 3D wolves that actually act as game pieces in a very exciting environment that NFTs sit on top of. And we could go into that if you'd like to talk about it. But that project, when people were buying them, it was a few $100s to buy a Hungry Wolf. And so I'm not saying that a few $100s isn't a lot of money to a lot of people, but it's a lot more accessible if you do your research and decide this is the project that I really want to invest in.
And so you say you have this asset. Can you sell it later? Can a Bored Ape sell their spot and make lots of money?
You absolutely can. And so there's a website called OpenSea, which essentially acts as the eBay of the NFT market. And when you buy an NFT, you immediately can go on OpenSea and you can list it up for sale for whatever amount that you want. And there are huge numbers of people that are essentially day trading on these NFTs, where based on speculation of what they will be worth in the future, or what these projects are doing, or supply and demand changes, then they will buy into certain projects and then they will flip them for profit later. And so 8 months ago, Bored Apes were selling for a few $100s a piece. Today, the cheapest Bored Ape that you can buy is several $100,000. Today, when you were buying Hungry Wolves, my project, you could buy in for 0.06 Ethereum. Just a few hours after sellout, we're now seeing them sell for 2 and 3 times that consistently every few minutes on OpenSea, because people that missed the boat are wanting to get involved in the project.
It's the way the world's going, huh?
And so you're going to start seeing utility from a lot of these NFTs in ways that transcend the digital world and actually make their way into the physical world. And I believe that you'll start seeing things like tickets be held in the form of NFTs. And eventually any kind of asset where it's very important, where you can prove that you're the authentic owner of that digital asset. Eventually you might hold the deed to your house as an NFT, or the title for your car, or your medical records. There's a variety of markets that this could impact that go far beyond collectibles, or the way that they're essentially being traded for the most part today.
Well, there is obviously so much more to learn about NFTs. We've linked to more information on our website, including the sites that Adam mentioned.